Nancy Guthrie vanished without a trace. But her car recorded a clue that could solve everything the last ride. The last time anyone saw Nancy Guthrie alive, she was sitting in a blue Honda CRV. It was 9:48 on the night of January 31st, 2026. She had just had dinner with her daughter Annie and Annie's husband Tommaso Cioni at their Tucson home. A 10-minute drive, a familiar route, a house she had lived in for over 50 years. Tommaso walked her inside. The garage door closed at 9:50 p.m. He drove away into the dark. Nancy was home. Nancy was safe. Nancy was completely alone. She was 84 years old, a widow since 1988. A retired educator who had raised 3 children in those Catalina Foothills. She couldn't walk 50 yards without help. She removed her hearing aids every single night before sleep. She had no overnight caretaker, no security system beyond a single doorbell camera. She was in every way that mattered completely unprotected. By 1:47 a.m., someone physically destroyed that doorbell camera. At 2:28 a.m., Nancy's pacemaker app lost connection to her phone. Her body had moved beyond Bluetooth range. By noon the next day, her family found blood on the porch. Sheriff Chris Nanos stood in front of cameras and said what no family ever wants to hear. We do, in fact, have a crime scene. We do, in fact, have a crime. Nancy Guthrie has been missing for 123 days. Tonight, we are going to show you exactly what that blue Honda CRV recorded. And we are going to show you why law enforcement has refused to release it. Subscribe now. You need to see where this goes. To understand why that car is the center of everything, you need to understand what investigators actually did to it. Because it goes far beyond anything you've been told. What they did to that car, the blue Honda CRV, was seized within days of Nancy's disappearance. That part you may already know. What you don't know is what happened inside a Tucson forensic facility for the next 5 weeks. This is Promise 1, and it starts with a ladder. There are 3 levels of forensic vehicle examination. Level 1 is surface processing. Investigators swab the steering wheel, dust the door handles, download the electronic systems. That takes hours. 2 days at the outside. Level 2 is a targeted search. Specific compartments open based on investigative leads, the trunk, the area beneath the rear seats, a particular storage panel. That takes 1 to 2 weeks. Level 3 is full structural disassembly. Door panels removed from frames, seats unbolted from floor mounts, carpet peeled from floorboards, trunk lining stripped, dashboard components pulled. The entire vehicle reduced to its component parts by trained forensic technicians. That process takes weeks. It requires a professional mechanic to reassemble the car when it's finished. On March 10th, investigative reporter Dave Mack reported on the Nancy Grace Crime Stories podcast exactly what was happening. The vehicle is at the auto mechanic right now, where it is still in the custody of the Pima County Sheriff's Department, not the Guthries, and is being worked on by this auto mechanic. Pima County Sheriff's Department confirmed that report. A car requiring a mechanic for reassembly was not swabbed and released. It was taken apart because investigators were searching inside the structural body, inside the cavities between the visible interior and the metal frame, inside every space where material could be concealed, deposited, or transferred, and where no amount of cleaning would ever reach. Beyond the physical search, every electronic system in that car was downloaded. Navigation logs, Bluetooth pairing records, door event timestamps, speed data, route history. Former Pima County SWAT Commander Bob Kreeger told Parade on March 14th exactly what that level of evidence preservation means. The investigator's job is to create a case that is as rock solid as possible and leaves as little doubt in a jury's mind at the end of the day. Jury's mind, rock solid. Chain of custody. You hold evidence under those protocols when you expect to present it in court. Not one result from that vehicle has ever been disclosed. Because 72 hours after Nancy vanished, a veteran journalist went on air with a claim about that car and the man who drove it, a claim the sheriff called reckless, and a claim that has never been retracted. The source, the claim, the silence, this is Promise 2. On February 3rd, 2026, just 72 hours after Nancy disappeared, Ashley Banfield went public. Banfield is not a blogger. She is not a podcaster with a theory. She is an Emmy and Telly award-winning journalist with 36 years in broadcasting across CNN, Court TV, ABC News, NBC, and News Nation. Her source was described as very connected, highly regarded, carrying impeccable credentials, and holding direct knowledge of this investigation. The claim was not vague. My law enforcement source tells me that Tommaso Cioni is the prime suspect in this case. On February 12th, Banfield appeared on Dan Abrams' SiriusXM show and gave an update. I can tell you that my source every day since has stood by that reporting, and that is the thinking as of the day after Mrs. Guthrie was reported missing. She has never retracted, not once. Now here's where you need to pay close attention, because what happened next tells you everything about how seriously you should take that source. On February 4th, a PCSD spokesperson told TMZ they were not confirming the car seizure. They said they were unsure where the reporter was getting that information. That denial was emphatic. It was on the record. and it turned out to be completely wrong. By March, PCSD confirmed the seizure themselves to Parade magazine. Here's the credibility record on that source in 5 points. 1. The source said the car was seized. Confirmed. 2. The source said the car was in evidence. Confirmed. 3. The source said there was a connection between the car and Tommaso. Unaddressed. 4. PCSD's denial of the seizure was proven false. Confirmed. 5. The one claim that has never been confirmed or denied is the one that carries the most weight. A source who was right about every checkable fact has one uncheckable claim still standing. The sheriff called it reckless. He never corrected it with forensic evidence. He never said what the car contained. He offered a clearance, and we will get to exactly what that clearance does and does not prove. Drop your answer below right now. Does a formal clearance end this question for you, or does 5 weeks of forensic silence keep it open? Because the evidence pointing away from Tommaso is real, it is documented, and it deserves the same honest weight as everything pointing toward him. The man behind the mask on February 16th, Sheriff Chris Nanos, issued a formal statement. To be clear, the Guthrie family, to include all siblings and spouses, has been cleared as possible suspects in this case. The family has been nothing but cooperative and gracious and are victims in this case. To suggest otherwise is not only wrong, it is cruel. That is not a hedge. That is not a strategic qualifier designed to preserve investigative options. On March 16th, former SWAT team leader Chad Ayers confirmed on the Megyn Kelly show that every family member, Savannah, Annie, Cameron, and Tommaso, passed polygraph examinations with flying colors. Retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer added something the internet almost entirely ignored. If I have probable cause, I'm not going to get consent, I'm going to get a warrant. The family appears to have given consent for those searches. Coffindaffer's professional assessment is direct. Consent-based searches indicate elimination processing, not suspect targeting. Investigators were ruling the family out, not building a case against them. Then the FBI released footage that changes everything. Working with Google, agents extracted data from Nancy's physically destroyed Nest camera. What they recovered showed a masked figure at Nancy's front door in the early hours of February 1st. Ski mask, gloves, backpack, a holstered pistol visible on the body. A second image showed the same figure approaching the property on an earlier date. 2 visits, the first to survey, the second to act. A neighbor named Aline Meister told Fox News Digital she saw a suspicious young man near Nancy's home 2 weeks before the abduction. Wrong clothes. Hat pulled low over his eyes, he just didn't fit. None of that points to Tommaso Cioni. All of it points to a planned abduction by an unknown third party who studied that house before they entered it. Subscribe and turn on notifications. When the forensic results on that car are released, we will break it here first. Comment mask if the intruder footage closes this for you. Comment car if the 5-week forensic hold keeps the question open. 2 cases, both built on confirmed facts, both internally consistent, and 1 forensic report that would collapse one of them entirely, sealed for 123 days without a single public explanation. The sealed answer the results from that blue Honda CRV already exist. They have been analyzed, they have been reviewed. Investigators have read every page. The only people who don't know what that car contained are watching this video right now. 3 explanations for the silence, all of them credible, none of them confirmed. If the results are exculpatory, 1 sentence ends this overnight. That sentence has not been issued in 123 days. If the results are incriminating, prosecutors protect their strongest evidence. They do not broadcast what they plan to present in court. If the results are inconclusive, ambiguous data released early destroys cases before a jury ever sees them. 3 explanations, 3 completely different implications, 0 information from the people who already know the answer. Here is what that silence costs every day it continues. Tommaso Cioni carries a label the forensic evidence could remove. The Guthrie family lives under a siege the sheriff himself called cruel. Millions of viewers are debating a cleared man while a masked, armed, premeditated stranger remains unidentified. And Nancy, 84 years old, requiring daily medication, missing for 123 days, is still waiting. 1 question. If you ran this investigation, would you release those car results today? Yes or no? Tell me below. If you have any information, contact the FBI directly at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Anonymous tips go through 88 crime. The combined reward stands at $1.2 million. No arrest required. Share this video once. Right now, the person who finds Nancy Guthrie may be 1 view away from seeing this. Nancy's been missing for the 123 days. The answer to where she is may already exist in a file the public has never seen. When that file opens, we will be here first.